Hey, best friends. I'm Yana.
I'm Claire.
Welcome to
My best friend's book club.
Did we throw you off? We love to do a little switcheroo every once in a while. Keep it interesting. Keep it fresh. Hey, San Francisco.
Just go on a fucking
Vietnam.
Seriously, though.
Welcome.
We are reading
Sociopath by
Patric Gagney.
Thank you, Claire.
No problem.
Anyway, we're a podcast for readers and non-readers.
Why is that, Yana?
Because some of you don't know how to read.
I don't think that's it.
And we want to be accepting of that. And we want you guys to find a safe space.
No, it's because it's finding time to read.
Some of you don't have that kind of time, or you don't prioritize it. Let's be real. I'll be
Which
rude.
is fine, because
Totally.
priorities are real.
Sometimes I want to watch The Real Housewives instead of read. And I'm not ashamed.
Yana. Yanita. Love of my life.
It's going to be another Claire Loves Yana, Yana Loves Claire episode.
Shimmer in my gem. Buck to my buckle.
Oh, I thought you were going to say tooth.
Parm to my cheese.
Oh, you mean to your Jean?
Mac to my Roni.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Yana, give us a recap.
Yeah. So Patric is continuing in her research of what is a sociopath and what are the qualifying characteristics. Thank you, Claire.
No,
God,
I know. I'm so smart. It's hard. It's so hard.
Oh my God. It's like you're just so good at everything you do.
Big words.
She talks to her dad about the fact that she is a sociopath. And her dad does a pretty good job of listening. And kind of one of the biggest pieces that come out of it is he's like, I really need you to go to therapy. And she's like, okay. So she starts therapy. She also meets Jennifer at work. It's the job she got through her dad. But she does not like Jennifer.
No.
Because she thinks that Jennifer gives sociopaths a bad name.
Which we learn more about in these set of pages.
I think like Jennifer just kind of takes it really lightly, kind of the way in conversation we might be like, oh my God, you're such a psycho.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, here is Patric and she's like, I'm actually a sociopath and you calling yourself these things
is offensive.
And from here, I need you to take it, Claire. My wine in all my wine glasses.
Thank you so much.
The gas to my car.
Keep you running.
And the silver lining to all my clouds.
Wow. That's so beautiful. Thank you. Anyway, summary of this week.
Yeah, I can't wait to find out from you.
I know.
Because I can't remember, so I need you to tell me. Okay.
So, remember, Patric's dad got her hired into the music industry he works in LA. It starts off with Patric at her therapist appointment, and she's super upset with Jennifer, who Yana just talked about, her coworker. She's calling her a sociopath.
Yeah.
Did I say it right?
Fake sociopath.
Yeah. Okay.
Like faux leather.
I Googled it, and Google was like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
But it's essentially
like a faux bag.
Yeah. Like a faux fur.
Like a faux fuck you.
And this is somebody who is kind of like faking being a sociopath. Like they label themselves that way. So that
they get the intention.
Yeah. So they can act like a quote unquote jerk, as Patric says, without actually understanding or feeling any of that like sort of relentless void that true sociopaths feel when they're lacking apathy.
Yeah, they're using it as a excuse.
Yes, and Patric is like pretty offended about this because
Rightfully
she's like,
so.
girl, I'm really a sociopath and this is really a struggle. So to deal with her annoyance of Jennifer, Patric does as she does, and she follows Jennifer to her boyfriend's house because, you know, stalking is a pressure reliever.
Yep.
And she breaks into the house while the two are sleeping.
She considers it not breaking in, though, because the door's open.
That's right. I'm sorry, because the door is unlocked.
It's only entering, not breaking and entering.
My apologies. Another pressure reliever.
I do remember.
Look at you.
Look at me.
So very uncreepily, she stands over Jennifer and her boyfriend who are sleeping, and she just thinks about how easy it would be to rid the world of Jennifer. But remember, number one rule is no hurting anybody. So this grounds her back in her space, and she leaves. But she does confess this to her therapist, Dr. Carlin. But of course, her therapist is horrified by this. And she is kind of like, hey, I don't know if I can continue to see you as a patient. I'm not sure I'm really helping you because you're not getting better, quote unquote. And she feels that this act that Patric has done could be reported under the pterosophil.
Yeah, like when therapists have to be able to like if you're threatening someone else or you're wanting to commit suicide, they're able to break HIPAA.
Yes. And Patric is like feeling very upset about this because, again, she feels that she's being punished for telling the truth, very much like she did with her mom. Mm-hmm. So she's like, what? Like, you would actually report me? So the two, like, kind of get into it, but they ultimately decide that they'll create a behavioral contract of sorts. It's basically like Patric can't break the law, and if she does, then therapy is over, and she risks being reported. So that night, Patric has a party to go to, because remember, she works in the like that. She works in the music industry in LA. So she has a party at the Playboy Mansion. I mean, whoa, that's really cool, I think. Yeah. I would go. I have feelings about it, but I would go.
I would go.
Anyway.
I would go because I'm nosy.
I know. Like, what happens in here?
But I would, yeah. But then I would leave because I'd miss my sweatbands.
Yeah, for sure. So she's at this party and she's just kind of had a bummer of a day, you know, with her therapist, and it brought back feelings of her mom, and she almost got reported. You know, it's a lot.
We also don't hear about her mom during this chunk of the book.
I'm really wondering if we're going to get back to mom.
We don't hear about mom. We don't hear about sister.
It was such a big part of the first set of pages. Yeah. I hope we circle back, as we say in corporate America.
Circle back next year.
Everyone. So she gets really, really drunk because she had a bad day. But then she starts to feel like intense claustrophobia around these crowds. She's kind of feeling like unwell and overwhelmed. +1. So she's like, I need to find a place to escape. I need to find some like solace. And of course she finds Hugh Hefner's private office. And she decides that's the place to like decompress.
I would say that was like really cool.
Which is like really badass. Yeah.
Because I would have major anxiety. Like I would never.
Me too. I would never go in there.
Hugh Hefner? Like, are you kidding?
Yeah, that's scary. But she does it. So, and
she's so chill about
not only does she do that, but she's like hanging out in there in the dark, like looking at his cool decor and, you know, interesting stuff. And then she's like, I'm going to call David.
Not just looking around the stuff. She's also like, I'm going to write on his notepad so he knows I was here.
Yeah, I have this. I have this.
It's incredible.
So she calls David. Remember, David is her sort of like childhood romance. She met him at summer camp, and they haven't seen each other in years, but they've kept in touch. Remember, he's the only person who ever made her feel accepted and seen. I liked David. Yana has feelings about David.
I did not dislike David.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
I have feelings about anyone. All negative feelings about everyone but
I
you.
agree. It's okay. Thank you. Me too.
But it was just the youthful age difference. I'm coming around to David a little bit.
Okay, good.
But I also, because at the end of the day, he's still a man.
Okay. Fair. So.
They're all guilty until proven innocent.
So she calls David and they're chatting, and it starts to get a little like romantic, a little like nostalgic. And we're nearing the end of the conversation, and David says, quote, I really love you, you know? And Patric says, I love you too. So anyway, she hangs up with David, and then she's like, I'm going to steal one of Hugh's branded notepads, and she's going to gift it to David. But before she leaves, she writes a note to Hugh, which I have a quote because I just found this to be so fascinating. She says, hey, Hef, in case, not Hefner, Hef. Mm-hmm. Hey, Hef, in case you were wondering who was hanging out in your office tonight, it was Patric. I promise I didn't disturb anything, even though I really wanted to. P.S. Not true. I actually took one of your notepads so I could send it to an old friend. I hope you don't mind. And she put like X's, like kisses.
She keeps telling the truth, even though she keeps feeling like that's actually causing more harm.
I just literally can't stop imagining like if this really happened, which it sounds like it did, like I don't know why Patrick would lie. Can you imagine like Hugh Hefner finds this note?
I know.
And he's like, who the fuck is Patric, right? I feel like he'd probably report her, right?
Maybe, except he's also, it sounds like this office isn't locked.
No.
And he's having a party in his house.
He might be like, haha. Oh, I'm so serious. I better calm down.
Ooh, ha, ha. Yes, too much.
Ooh,
Ooh,
Wait, what is that cartoon?
It's from Finding Nemo.
Oh, yeah.
Shark bait. Ooh,
I'm so glad you just knew it. It's Finding Nemo.
Some things I remember.
So fast forward, and David literally shows up at Patric's house, and he's like, hey, guess what? I moved to LA. I love you. Love you so many times. And thankfully, Patric is like excited about this. And I mean, the two end up just jumping right into a romantic relationship, which seems to work very well for both of them. In fact, Patric is like in what she calls domestic bliss. She's like super fucking stoked about making dinner and cleaning. And like before he gets home from work, she picks his favorite record to play during dinner time.
In there.
She's so in love and into this relationship. So much so that this pressure buildup that she's had her whole life has kind of like gone. So she doesn't feel the need to do any sort of acting out in any way. So one night, David finds her lock-picking kit, and he's like, hey, I would really like it if you would stop this behavior. You don't need this stuff anymore. And she's like, yeah, I don't. Whatever. And then he throws in the trash, and he walks away. And then Patric immediately gets it out of the trash and hides it. And this becomes kind of her first real secret from David. So now we're back in therapy. Dr. Carlin, I hope I'm saying that right. She drops this reality check on a Patric, and she's like, Patric's like, I don't have this pressure buildup anymore. Like, I'm cured by love. And Dr. Carlin's like, that's not real. And I was like, thank God, because I was getting really nervous about that. But Dr. Carlin's like, no, you're in this limerence phase? Is that how you say it?
I don't remember.
Limerence phase, which is basically like the new relationship phase. It's the honeymoon phase, everyone, okay? And she tells her that her apathy is sort of like stabilized, or lack of apathy is very stabilized right now because she's so like in love and feeling all those feelings and, honeymoon stage. But once she sort of acclimates into this relationship, as we all do when we get into long-term relationships, that feeling of pressure will return because she will start to feel the lack of apathy again. Patrick kind of like, I don't know about that. To test the waters, that evening, before David gets home from work, Patric sneaks into a vacant house across the street with her lockpick kit. And all she does is go and sit in a bedroom. It's an empty house. And she realizes that this sort of like honeymoon phase she's in, mixed with the action of like breaking into this vacant house, has created that state of euphoria that she felt when she stabbed the kid in the head with the pencil when she was in second grade. And she's like so happy about this. She's like, holy shit, I can recreate this feeling without hurting anyone. Which I get. Yeah, that's probably a very big deal. So she's blissfully happy and on her way out. She actually just walks to the front door because she's like, who gives a fuck at this point? And
I love that about her.
I know. But on her way out, she finds a broken Statue of Liberty keychain, and she decides that this is like a trophy for her, and she's going to keep it, and she'll use it as like a bat signal.
Every time Batman was brought up, I was like, Claire must be just like giddy as all hell.
Dude, Batman was brought up in Lights Out. Batman is brought up again. Brought up again. Batman, you're so cool and you're everywhere.
Batman
Good
also
for you.
came up in my New York Times crossword the other day.
Hell
and
yeah.
I thought of you, but so did Nintendo. And a lot of what I answered, I knew from you.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
I know, which is crazy because I was listening even when I thought I wasn't.
What was the Nintendo one?
I don't remember.
Oh, man. So she tells David that if he sees this Statue of Liberty / her bat signal, on the table, it means that she's done something quote unquote unorthodox. And she wants to be honest with David. So she's like, if you see this, then you can ask me if I did something. And you can also decide not to ask me if you don't want to. And David's like, okay. But he also finds out at this moment that like she has her lockpick kit still. And he's like, well, that's a bummer. But they kind of like work through it and it's fine. She also tells him that she broke into the house, obviously, because she confessed about the lockpick kit and how she was able to recreate this euphoric feeling without doing anything quote unquote bad. And he doesn't quite understand. He's like, I don't understand any of this, but he loves her and he's accepting. And so they have like a conversation and it seems to be okay. And she's like, maybe you can come with me into the vacant house and we can and then,
what were they going to do?
Mm-hmm. So then time passes and Patrick is now working on the show Punk'd.
That's crazy.
Ashton, are you punking me right now? Remember that?
Yes. Throwback. Oh my goodness.
What a crazy thing to be like, I worked on Punk'd, you know?
She said it's so nonchalant in the book, too.
It's
like we all could have worked at Punk'd.
I mean, she ends up in a very, like...
She got this job through her dad, who's already in the industry.
Bad bitch in the music industry.
Yeah. These are jobs that people would kill for.
Yes.
And no matter how successful they are at school or whatever, do not ever get into. And her dad, before she even was qualified to do it, was like, you're just going to come work for me.
He's like, you need to be more social, so you're going to have this job in the music industry.
Here's a job in Hollywood.
So she's working on Punk'd, and that's pretty cool. And she made friends with a woman named Ariane, and she even told her that she's a sociopath. Mm-hmm. So what does her friend do? She's like, hey, Patrick, I have this boyfriend named Jacob, who also works on Punk'd, by the way, and I want you to break into his house and read his journal to see if he's cheating on me, because she's kind of convinced he's cheating on her. It's like really bothering her. It's keeping her up at night. She can't do anything. But for Patrick, the honeymoon phase with David is sort of at its end. And so she is starting to feel that pressure building up again. And she needs to figure out something to do to release it, right? And we know break-ins, they always help Patrick. So she agrees to do this for Ariane. So while Ariane and the boyfriend are filming Punk'd, Patrick breaks into the guy's house. She reads his journal. And instead of finding him to be a cheater, she finds out that he's this very deeply soulful
little guy.
Yeah, he's this very intimate, introspective person. And rather than feeling her typical high from doing one of these unorthodox things like breaking into people's homes, she feels really off about it. And she feels totally disconnected from her quote-unquote normal life that she's created with David. And she's even feeling disconnected from David, who she calls her anchor. She's like out to sea, she says. Just not feeling great about this thing that she did.
It's like what all of us would think of as guilt.
Well, that's interesting. I didn't think of it as guilt.
I thought of it as she just can't access that emotion. But for the rest of us, we would consider it like guilt or regret.
Shame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think for her, she can't put like a word to it. But she's like, I just know I didn't like it.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. I kept... God, I remember so
You're
much more
so
than
smart.
God, your eyes.
Thank you so much. I have this in discussion.
Your eyes?
No,
Oh.
this moment.
Can you add your eyes to the discussion?
Yeah, we'll talk about that first.
I think it's a good segue.
So when she returns to set, Ariane is like, oh my God, what happened? And Patrick's kind of like, listen, this guy's not cheating on you. Like, I got to go meet David for dinner. Bye. And Ariane is like, excuse me, like, what does the journal say? And Patrick's just like, listen, if you want to know anything more, you need to go talk to him. He's not cheating on you. You know, he's actually a very nice man. She doesn't really say that, but she just doesn't want anything to do with it. And she doesn't feel good about this experience. And then Ariane says, what do you care? You're a sociopath.
Ooh, I wanted to punch her in the face right there.
Patrick also wanted to punch her in the face. She tells Ariane, like, fuck you. Literally. That's what she says. And then she leaves and she goes and meets David. I also have this moment in discussion because I think it's very interesting for someone who isn't very close to their emotions and had such a response. But continuing on. So she realizes that Ariane used her diagnosis as a sociopath as a tool to get her to do her quote-unquote dirty work because she's like, Patric has no guilt, shame, remorse.
She doesn't seem to give a shit what happens to Patric.
Yeah.
She just needs her own crap taken care of.
Which is not a friend, if you ask me.
You would never do that for me.
Never.
I would never do that to you.
Never.
Never.
So then, sometime later, Patric, she stays true to her word, and she leaves her quote-unquote bat signal out for David. She did something unorthodox. She hopes that David won't ask her, but he does. And he's like, what'd you do, girl? And she tells him all about how she broke into this guy's house and she read his journal and it didn't make her feel super wonderful. And they get into like a really big discussion about it. And the sort of main parts is that he was really disturbed that she could go from breaking into this guy's house, feeling off, and then just going to dinner, not bringing it up and just acting like fucking normal. He also, has to hear that her pressure has returned and it's something they have to deal with. He kind of thought that, hey, it was gone because I'm here and love cures all. But like the therapist says, that's not the way this shit goes.
Time says.
Yeah. He's also just trying to get to the understanding that, this is the reality of this situation. And he tries to be as understanding and compassionate as anyone could be in the situation. But more than anything, he really doesn't like that Ariane, whatever.
Anne.
She took advantage of Patric, and he feels like other people could take advantage of the fact that she's a sociopath and that they will leverage her in the way that this gal did. And he's like, hey, watch out for people doing that. And also, I think your dad does that. And I was like, what?
I was a little taken aback.
Me too. I have this in discussion.
Yeah,
I was like,
what
the fuck are you talking about, David?
Mm-hmm. Trying to separate her from her family?
Yeah, what are you trying to do? So now Patric's back at her therapist's office, and she's telling her, all this stuff, obviously. But she realizes that this quote-unquote bad behavior that she displays was always just a compulsive reaction to stress. The stress because she doesn't feel apathy and she needs to. So it was never a choice. But now that she feels accepted by David, she is sort of level set and she feels like she has choice now. And she also observes that Ariane, she was kind of having a polar opposite reaction where she was experiencing so much emotion that she was out of fucking control of herself.
Yeah.
And she did something crazy, asked Patric to do this.
Yeah, it's
because
crazy
she was
to read someone's journals. Who would do that?
wasn't thinking straight, and she lost control of her choice and emotions because she was overloaded. And Patric is the polar opposite, but can still act out being the polar opposite. A lot of awakenings happening here, I would say. And she tells her therapist that for the first time, she's at peace with herself and she likes herself. She talks about the great blue hole, which I didn't know about.
I didn't either.
Did you?
I had to Google
okay,
it.
I was like,
Yeah,
what?
I Googled.
Yeah, dude, that shit's so cool. I was like,
I would never.
I mean, I wouldn't go in there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even swim across it because I'm scared of water. But I was like, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm glad it's there.
I'm glad I
I'm
know
scared.
about it. Yeah, I'm glad you all like to explore, but I will not be doing that. And she feels about how she's a sociopath shouldn't be taken advantage of. Instead, she's feeling a lot of feelings for sociopaths. There's no manual, there's no resources. How are they supposed to figure these things out? She's been able to figure these things out, and she's just been active and trying to, and maybe not everybody's like that. So she's like, what are the sociopaths supposed to do? And then her therapist is like, hey, maybe you should write a book. And then Patric's like, I can't write a book. I'm a sociopath. Who's going to believe me anyway, girl, woman? And then her therapist is like, I'm going to give you some quotes to end this here. You ready? They say sociopaths are impulsive, irrational, and capable of introspection. They say sociopaths can't love, but I've seen you love. They say sociopaths are incapable of empathy. And then Patric says, I'm not very good at it. And then her therapist says, oh, yes, you are, with other sociopaths. And then Patric's kind of like very uncomfortable with this and is like, I gotta go.
But we are reading her book, so someone listen.
But it's super interesting that she's gotten to a point of pure empathy for other sociopaths. And they say sociopaths are like not really capable of empathy. So, into discussion, Yana.
Yeah.
I want to talk about breaking into Hugh Hefner's office.
Yes.
First off, major balls for going in there in the first place. She probably doesn't care.
She doesn't
but
care.
Like, I cared. And I can't believe she left him a note. I kind of was like, why leave any evidence at all?
I can't believe it's that easy to get into Hugh's office.
She said it was just like velvet curtains.
Yeah, she... Like, where's the security?
Well, I guess
this is
like,
a rager at the Playboy Mansion, and he's just like...
Here's my office.
Yeah.
Do you think that'll ever come back? He'll say something about her note or something?
I couldn't find anything online about, like,
so maybe not.
them, like, him saying anything or
Did
whatever.
you Google if David is her husband?
No.
Don't lie to anyone.
I didn't.
Okay, let's talk about too much emotion. You're overcharged with emotion, like Ariane or Ari. And
Ari.
no emotion. I thought that was super interesting. That was a very good observation because if you think about it, you know you've done this where you're so overcharged with your feelings that you're like acting in ways you wouldn't normally
you get
act.
irrational for sure.
You do something. You don't have to tell us what you've done.
I've never done anything.
I know.
Everyone has wronged me.
My actions are based on what you have done to me.
I'll deserve them.
But I thought it was a really interesting observation because she's like the total opposite. She's more disconnected from her emotions. And so she acts out to feel, whereas a lot of us over here, we get hypercharged in our emotions and then we do something fucking crazy. I don't know. I think that's interesting.
I think it goes to show, though, that it's like when people talk about, some people being super, super anxious and some people having zero anxiety. And you're like, there's benefits to both, right? There's a certain point of anxiety we all need in order to survive.
Anxiety.
Totally. But you and I have, like, anxiety issues.
I think a lot of women do.
No, totally. Sure.
Email me.
But, right, it's like we have to have some fight or flight. We have to have some worry in order to like see a bear and think, rather than if not friend, why friend shaped kind of thing. Or, hot stove to not touch it. So I think it does kind of apply here where there is a benefit to kind of not giving a shit sometimes.
For sure.
But then there's also a reason we should give a shit.
I really appreciated her thoughtful comparison though. She was like, when her pressure doesn't build up too much, she has choice. And she has even more choice when she's sort of stabilized with her love with David. But then it's like on the other side, if you're not a sociopath, you can become so overwhelmed with your emotions that you also have to act out. Because you're fucking tripping dick.
Yeah, you go beyond all logic and reason.
Because we've all done it.
Absolutely.
Don't fucking lie to us, listeners. You've been
everyone
tripped
but me
up
has
on
done it. I have never.
You've become just like this gal. She was obsessed with the fact that she thought that this guy was cheating on her. She freaked out. She was obsessing. She couldn't sleep. She was thinking about it constantly. She needed an answer. And there's a lot of things that we do as people where we fucking trip our dicks because they're so long. They're so long.
They get in the way.
Exactly.
So we have to...
I don't know. I really liked that. I was like, wow, she's so thoughtful.
She's incredibly thoughtful. I mean, her therapist knows it. Her therapist is kind of there. I almost feel like at this point to learn more about sociopathy from her.
Yes, it really makes me think a lot about her sociopathy on the spectrum theory because it's I would love to learn more about this spectrum, by the way. It feels like Patric is on an end where she has more control and thought and ability. What do we look up that sociopaths can learn and evolve through behavioral things? But I wonder if there's a far end of the spectrum where they're more towards psychopath, where they aren't as able to
So do you think someone who, let's say a psychopath, like some of the really intense people we've learned about or watched about,
Okay.
do you think they are past any sort of help?
I feel like her spectrum that she talks about, she's maybe like lower mid. I'm so sorry, Patrick, if I'm doing you injustice, where she is more able to analyze and think rationally and come up with a framework. Like she talks about like no hurting, no anybody, to rewire her brain so that she isn't doing things that are quote unquote unorthodox or unlawful. But I do feel like there's this other side of the spectrum that's closer to psychopath, where you do the bad thing, you choke the cat, you stab the kid in the head with a pencil, and you like it so much, and you don't have the tools or the care enough to keep learning and evolving.
You get like a high.
Right. But like Patrick wants to learn and evolve, but I feel like there's probably this other side of the spectrum where they're just like, they like it and they just keep doing it. And I don't know what happens to those people. I don't know if like sociopathy can turn into psychopathy.
We're just slightly past the halfway point though, so maybe we'll get a little bit more soon. I think what I'm really also fixated on right now as I read is the idea of what is bad because it's actually bad versus what is bad because social norms make it bad.
Exactly.
Because there are a lot of things where it really isn't hurting anyone.
Exactly. It's not even really hurting her.
Totally.
It's just kind of something we all decided like, hey, we probably shouldn't
that's
do
the wrong thing to do. But of all the things she could be doing, is it really that big of a deal that she's in an empty open house?
She goes to people's funerals.
Right. Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, someone's out probably out there like, that's disrespectful. And sure, in a sense, it probably is.
But I also know, as thinking back to my grandparents' funerals or something like that, I noticed everyone in the crowd who were people near and dear to me. But the people I didn't immediately recognize, I'm not over here like, who the hell is that?
Yeah,
I'm just like, how nice that this person thought my, grandma or grandpa meant something to them and they're here.
Yeah.
I didn't think twice about it. So I really...
Who's it hurting?
Right. So it has made me think a lot about the norms, or like when earlier in the book, when she'd be talking to her mom and it's like, are these things bad because they make you feel bad? But they don't make me feel bad.
Right.
So are they bad?
It's so super fucking interesting.
Mm-hmm. Or the idea of telling your kids, you can always tell me the truth, but then you punish them for it.
Well, and it makes me think a lot too about, I feel like there was a time in my life where I wasn't as empathetic as I felt I should be. And I don't even know what that means now that I say it out loud. Like, what does that mean? I felt I should be based on what? Like societal standards or my friends or like who know? I don't know where that came from. But then I have certain relationships in my life where I feel, right? Like you were saying, it's all based on our individual feelings.
Yeah. It's super subjective.
Right. That someone is not expressing the kind of empathy that I feel that they should be. Right. And it totally...
You're not doing what I think is the right thing to do here, which means you're the one that's wrong. Maybe I'm at wrong for thinking that it's such a big deal.
Or it's like, maybe it's just kind of like a miscommunication in a sense where like, it's okay that, like, let's say we both inherently agree that that thing isn't great, but I feel very deeply that that thing is like super, super, not great. Mm-hmm. And this person over here is like, yeah, that's not great, but like, I'm chill enough, and I'm like, oh, the audacity. How could you? I don't know. I think it's so interesting.
Such a wide range too. Like the difference between like, I think it's wrong to like, showing up empty handed to someone's house for dinner versus like, I killed a man, right? Like it's just so like, there's definitely a difference of opinions versus like, what's an okay thing to do?
Well, and I think like the two bad things that she's done, truly, sorry, I don't know if I should put bad in quotes. No, I think
perceived
they're bad.
As bad, sure.
Like, no, she stabbed someone in the head with a pencil.
Yeah, I think actually anything that will actually like physically hurt someone.
Yeah. And then she strangle-ished the cat. The cat lived.
I don't like that.
But like those things, I think we can all agree for the most part. Those are not great things to do to living creatures. But we started reading the book, right? And we start with her as a child, and now we're with her past college. So she's probably like early, mid-20s at this point.
Yeah, like probably 23-ish.
we've seen her sort of like observe society and understand like kind of where she fits into this equation. But when her friend, or quote unquote friend, I'm going to call her Ari, she was like, why do you give a fuck? You're a sociopath. It like really pissed, it like
me too.
really upset her.
Well, it upset me.
Right, but like I'm more interested that it upset Patric, because Patric is kind of like, she's mostly like, I don't care about stuff though, but that really upset her. So I feel like she's learning and growing and evolving.
I feel like she also, though, is more cognizant of feelings that include her rather than others. We
all are.
Right? But like when she was starting to struggle in the relationship with her mother, like that made her really upset. So I feel like she's more, those feelings are more present in her mind for her own body and mind, rather than like, what would it feel like if a friend's mother didn't have that relationship anymore with them?
Is it her or is it sociopaths in general, though?
I can't speak for all sociopaths.
You can't?
I can't.
What? But I think it's really interesting how she sort of she really didn't have a lot of empathy as a child, or really into her teens for that matter. And as an adult or a young adult, she's really started to learn empathy in the way that makes sense for her.
Yeah, we're
right.
But she's been also this whole time, like up to this, let's say she's 23, 24, whatever. I feel like she has just spent that quarter of her life or whatever, just people watching. She's like learning behaviors.
Right.
They're not in her. They're all learned.
Yes. It's a little, you're so beautiful.
I don't like,
God
you guys,
damn it.
you know,
What are we
email
gonna do?
us at my best friend's book club if you need me to like come talk to your kids'
Have
school.
that 5-star like Yana's the beautifulest bitch ever.
Yeah, brains, beauty, humor, I got it all.
And if you don't, I'll fucking come for you.
Absolutely.
My mom will too. Mom, I know you will. Thank
Mom,
you.
I know you will more than my mom. So
She will.
Yeah, no, please contact me. I will come to your work events. I will come to your child's school. I will make a wish. I will join you guys too. Anyone who wants to talk to me,
I'll make a fucking wish.
I'm here for it. But
I love Make a Wish.
No, it's a beautiful organization.
No, like you were saying, she's observing other people, but if I got this right, what we learned about sociopathy is that it can be, how do I say this right? I'm sorry if I say this wrong. There are things that behaviorally, is that a word? Can be evolved and trained over time, whereas psychopath is not that. Actually, so I don't think you can cross over now that I say that. But it sounds like Patric has done the work to educate herself, and she's kind of like evolving based on all the observations that she's made.
Yeah, I mean, I think she was made for the psych world. Just like
she really was
learning about psych. She truly, God gives his hardest battles to his toughest soldiers.
Oh my God. I love how much she cares about other sociopaths too, though.
So much empathy.
She actually has an incredible amount of empathy, like an insane amount of empathy for these people.
But when you think about like societal norms, right? Empathy is everything or nothing. So if you only feel it for sociopaths, but not everyone else, she either has empathy for 100% of people, or she doesn't have empathy at all. The therapist is trying to tell her, like, you do have empathy. You have empathy for other sociopaths. But I think society tells us that's not enough. You either have to have empathy for everyone.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Or you don't have empathy. You can't just have empathy for only yourself, like your type of people.
She can do what the fuck she wants.
Absolutely.
You too, listener. Okay?
Well, we don't know who you are.
Maybe.
I have no empathy for you. Love you.
It seems like it was kind of like a learned emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like...
None of this comes naturally for her.
No, that's what's so fascinating.
She knows what's the right emotion to have and what's the like societal wrong emotion to have. And she's like, I'm going to pursue this right one.
Yes. I love that she's like, how are they supposed to know? How are all these other sociopaths supposed to know what to do? Especially when they don't seek information the way that I do. Mm-hmm. We don't have any resources or things for these people.
She also comes from a family with money.
Love it.
A family that's educated. Like, she's got so many things setting her up. Like, she's had all these opportunities to pursue this information too. She doesn't have to like take care of anyone else.
Yeah.
Or, you know, she's living in a house that her dad just like gave her.
No, this is a real factor, I feel. Not just a house, but a job too.
Right.
Like,
She has the time to do this.
And she talks about other she had access to research and libraries and those sorts of things. And it's like,
she's at freaking UCLA.
yeah, what about the people who didn't? She talks about this though.
Yeah,
she's like,
she's aware.
What do we do? Like, if somebody doesn't have the tools or sort of the opportunities that I have, and she feels that's unfair. And that unfairness is empathy.
Yep.
It's fucking cool, Patric. Good for you, girl. Shit.
Good job, Patric.
Shit, girl. Shit.
Sponsor us.
Okay, one last thing.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is this with David and the dad?
I think we're gonna learn
like
more.
that came out of nowhere.
It did, and it kind of irked me the wrong way because it felt like it was a relationship she actually was good with.
Yeah.
At least so far. And then he was like, hey, you good with this relationship? Because let me throw a wrench in it.
Right. It made me feel like
we haven't heard anything so far that felt like dad was taking advantage.
yes. And you said in the last episode, you were like, I know. It took all your energy not to Google if Patrick and David ended up together. And I feel like these set of pages put me to the test more than ever because that comment is like a make or break for me.
Like you're trying to create problems.
I could see that as something that could break them apart because from what Patrick has shared, and I really thought about it. I was like, what has dad done? You know? And what she shared with us so far,
nothing.
I don't really see anything. I see him as being helpful.
Yeah, he listened to her. He convinced her into therapy. He gave her a job. Like, he gave her a
about
house.
The funerals, as cool as he could be about the funeral stuff.
I feel like he handled it better than her mom could have.
Yeah, it feels like her relationship with her dad is better than her mom's at this point.
So far, I don't think we have heard anything where dad's gotten any of the benefit. So far, I feel like she's the only one that's gotten benefit.
Yeah, I mean, he was like, go to UCLA. You can live with me when you need to. Like,
I'm going to move out. You can stay in this house, though.
Yeah, and then he, like, moved out to other rich man house, and she stayed there. And then he gave her the job in the music industry and
listened to her talk about her feelings.
Yeah, he responded quite well, it seemed. She's like, I'm a sociopath. And he was like, I'm hearing you. And I go to funerals. And he was like, well, I'm not sure about that, but let's go to therapy.
And it also explains a lot.
A part of me, I know you hate me for saying this, but
I could never hate you.
I kind of like trust David in a sense because he has been the most understanding and accepting of her out of everyone. Like, even when she said all that stuff to her dad, David has taken everything like with such grace and understanding that mom and dad didn't, that I'm like, David, I kind of trust
I'll throw a wrench in that.
Okay, wrench it, girl.
Assuming
only if it's a monkey, though.
Oh my god.
Get it? I'm sorry.
I quit.
I have dad jokes today. I'm going to stop.
Assuming he's not the guy she ends up with. Doesn't really matter for him what he thinks. Dad and mom have a stake in this. This is their daughter. This is the rest of their lives.
Okay.
David, he's able to be like, I listen, I understand. He's able to like not have anything negative in it because at the end of the day, he can choose to leave. Her parents can't.
That's dark, Yana.
But am I wrong? It is dark. It sucks. But like,
I feel like he's
not permanent for like he as a person for himself does not have to be permanent. Her parents cannot leave. So they are going to be the ones who struggle more with it until they possibly get to the point where they are married.
Do you think she ends up with David?
Probably at this point. I think we're far enough into the book.
Yeah. It feels like maybe something we don't know about dad yet.
Yeah,
I don't know, though.
These last 50-ish pages have been a little bit more like Trouble in Paradise. Nothing's like, it doesn't feel like anything's like fully wrong. It's just that like they're past the honeymoon stage. People are kind of getting in her head, right? The therapist was kind of like, this isn't going to last, right?
I love that her therapist did that. When I read that part where she was like, I'm cured by love, I was like, are we doing this? Like, I was getting annoyed because like I am who I am.
Just for the summer.
Exactly. God, poor Abby Jimenez. We bring it up almost every episode. Like, we should have never read this book. Poor Abby. I'll never read another one of her books. I'm so sorry.
Wow, but also shout out.
She probably makes way more money than we do.
Absolutely.
Sorry. I think she ends up with David too. Yeah. But I want to know what the fuck that was about. It's like she planted a seed and I'm obsessing over it and I just want to know what the fuck she meant about it. That's all. Anyway, Yana, what's your food rating for these last set of pages?
You know, I've really been trying to think about it and I couldn't really come up with anything except a craving.
Okay.
I don't actually want this in my mouth, but my body wants Panda Express.
Wow.
I don't know what it is.
No, when you said it out loud, I felt it down below. I was like, I think I wanted to.
I think it's it's not.
I'm so ashamed.
I know, me too. But and no disrespect, Panda Express, you can totally sponsor us. But
okay.
But it's not that I'm damn, that's some good tasting food.
Right.
It's the experience that I want.
Mm-hmm.
I want
chow mein.
Yes, I want the
orange
gross, chicken. I want the heaps of food.
Not real cashews.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I want the packaging.
Oh, you want to eat out of the container.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that.
I want that's what I'm thinking of. It has nothing to do with this book.
Okay. That's too much wine.
Yeah. I think that's wine mixed with it's happening down under for me.
God, it's terrible.
I know.
Wonderful at the same time.
I know. I'm scared of eating the meat and I know it's going to end with diarrhea.
Yeah, we all do.
And I know there's going to be regret right after, but I feel like I am at a point wine-wise and time of day-wise where I could fuck with some Panda Express. Your turn. What are you thinking?
God.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying
hard.
to think back on these pages logically. It's when you get home.
Oh my, it's going to be beans and cheese, isn't it?
I love beans. I love beans.
It's going to be beans, chicken,
Doritos de los Locos. No. It's when you meal prepped and you have all your meals ready. But it's good. You're excited. So you get home.
Your adult Lunchable?
On Wednesday. Yeah.
It's very specific.
It's Wednesday. Because you meal prepped on Sunday. And you have plans Wednesday night. But you're oh, I can absolutely make that time because I meal prepped. And then you eat a big ass thing of chili with cheese and avocado.
I'm sorry, your voice during that, I can't. What was that accent?
Chili, cheese, and avocado. And then you're that was satisfying. I'm ready to go do what I need to do. That's how I felt about these pages. But the whole experience, not specifically chili, cheese, and avocado.
There was a lot of detail in that we didn't really need for the story.
I gave it to you. You're welcome.
Thank you. I love it when you give it to me.
You're welcome.
Are you reading anything cool or uncool?
Uncool. I'm still working my way through From Blood and Ash series.
We could literally be on this podcast for 6 years, and this is still going to be the case.
I can't let this book go. But
one of the few things I remember.
I hate myself, but I can't stop myself.
Welcome to my everyday.
But I'm doing the audiobook, so it's easier, and I have it at 1.5 speed.
Is this an on the way to work, on the way back kind of thing?
It's when I have time, when I'm cooking, when I'm on the way to work, when I'm getting dressed, It's girl she just says too much. And you're get to the fucking point. We've read 2.5 books. In these 2 books, you've been oh, my brother's missing. My brother's missing too. Did you know? And then we just talk about it for over 1,000 pages. But then we never do anything to find our missing brothers. I can't do it. I'm dying.
I feel in the last episode, you said you would use your ability to stop.
I can't stop myself yet.
Okay, we're not
I
there
want
yet.
to, but I can't. I hate listening to it today.
Okay.
But then on the side, for fun, I'm reading Quicksilver, which is a lot more fun. I'm fine. What is your sexy side piece?
I'm still reading Strangers.
Are you mad?
I'm not mad.
Are you emotional?
I'm not emotional, but I think I'm dead inside. It's definitely triggering, but in some ways it's helpful triggering where
healing triggers.
It's a little healing.
Face
It's
the darkness.
Definitely it's hard, but it's not
hard. like that.
It's not so hard where I'm like, I can't read this.
Yeah.
It's more it's more hard and like
His dick.
almost like, oh my God. Oh,
I'm sorry, I've had too much wine. I'm ready.
it's more hard in the like, I can't now.
I'm sorry, I ruined it.
It's more hard in the sense of like, almost like a feeling of camaraderie that I wasn't the only one that went
Oh, I
through
love
this.
that though.
Yeah. I actually like at one point looked her up, the author, because I was like, well, I want to DM her and be her best friend. Because I'm at this point in the book where they're talking more like, could I have seen red flags?
We all could have though, you know?
She's like back in the history of like him even before her, where she's like, was there something I missed? And I related to that of like, I'm going to go back in time as far as I can possibly go, being like, where did I go wrong?
I feel like this is not a good game to play, you know?
But it's healing though, because I'm learning from her the way she like saw things. And then I see her as like totally okay now.
But I don't like when people go back and are like, what could have I done better? It's like,
but I
maybe
think that's
there's
part of the
nothing
healing
you could
journey
have
though.
done better.
She's not saying it to recommend it. She's saying it as like, this was a normal emotion. And so I'm reading it as, I'm not crazy. I did this too.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. She's not saying like, if you haven't done this, please do.
No,
So
I literally have had so many therapy sessions where my therapist is like, Claire, you couldn't have done anything more. And I obsess over what I could have done better.
Yep.
But you're saying that's not
No,
the case.
it's more of the camaraderie piece of like, this might have been crazy, but I did it too.
And a lot of us do this.
But we don't
thing.
normalize it, right? We're like, oh, that was really unhinged behavior. And it is. Honestly,
I love
I
this.
just feel like I have quotes galore to tell my therapist.
I'm going to need to see some of these quotes. Yana,
Yes.
what are we trying to do?
We're trying to grow our podcast, everyone.
But we're not just trying.
We're actively working on it.
But we also just are.
We also are. And here's the deal, you guys. I'm going to be real with you. You need to help us.
And more than all the things in the world,
Love each other.
follow us on your follow us on your favorite podcast streaming platform.
YouTube included.
And tap that 5-star like. You also broke into Hugh Hefner's office and left him a note.
Stole his notepad.
You can DM us on our socials at
My BF Book Club.
or you can email us at
My BF Book Club at gmail.com.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Gracias.
And if nothing else, friends,
We just love to read.
we fucking love
We
to
just
read.
love to read. And we love if you read. So just remember, friends.
Keep on reading. The old switcheroo, you
Feel better, Nova.
bitches. We love you.
We love you.